In the heart of a Dallas supermarket, where the hum of everyday life masks secrets waiting to erupt, a silent storm brews. Chuck Norris, the man whose name echoes through decades of legend, moves unnoticed among the aisles, a warrior in denim, his steely calm belying a past forged in combat. Her words were a gauntlet thrown, a test he couldn't ignore. "I'm cooperating," he said, raising a hand in restraint, his voice a low anchor. "But I'm asking for some sense here." Sense wasn't on offer. Her voice spiked, cutting through the store's hum like a siren. "Hands where I can see them. Now!" Her hand gripped her pistol's handle, the metal glinting under fluorescent lights. The crowd gasped, shoppers freezing as the mundane shattered into something raw, electric. Chuck's senses flared, every muscle poised, his training a quiet hum beneath his calm. This wasn't a dojo or a set. It was real, with families and phones watching, recording, waiting for a spark to ignite chaos. "Officer, there's no need for this," he said, hands rising slowly, palms open. "I've done nothing wrong. I get down on the ground. I get down on the ground." She barked, her pistol half drawn, eyes blazing with a defiance that felt personal. Chuck hesitated, the cold tile floor below an absurd demand for submission. Kneeling felt like surrendering to a lie, but the crowd's tension, kids clutching parents, phones aimed like weapons, made the stakes clear. One wrong move could spiral into disaster. He crouched, lowering to one knee, his gaze never leaving hers. "Stay down!" she shouted, her voice a whip crack, the gun now fully drawn, aimed at his chest. The store held its breath, and Chuck knew this moment balanced on a razor's edge, one where truth could drown in a single, reckless act. 30 minutes later, the officer was suspended. But how did it unfold? Drop a comment with where you're watching from and let us know if you're hooked. Subscribe to the channel for another jaw-dropping story tomorrow. And hit that like button to keep the suspense alive. In a Dallas supermarket, where the hum of ordinary life masks a brewing storm, a legend walks unnoticed until a shadow falls across his path. Chuck Norris, the man whose name is synonymous with unbreakable resolve, is just another shopper tonight, his cart filled with the makings of a quiet evening. But someone's watching, their gaze a silent accusation that tightens the air. What begins as a routine errand twists into a dangerous dance of power and perception, where one wrong move could unravel everything. As the fluorescent lights flicker, a confrontation looms, one that will test the line between authority and abuse and leave a city demanding answers. The supermarket pulsed with Friday night chaos, scanners whining, carts clattering, voices weaving a restless tapestry. Chuck Norris moved through the meat aisle, his denim-clad frame unassuming, his focus on a cut of bison. No trace of the cowboy hats or martial arts swagger that defined his legend, just a man running errands. Yet a chill prickled his neck, instincts honed over decades whispering of unseen eyes. Glancing up, he caught her, a police officer, her starched uniform a stark contrast to the crowd's casual sprawl. She wasn't shopping. She was stalking, her gaze locked on him with an intensity that felt like a challenge. Chuck brushed it off at first. Fame made him a beacon for stares, his life a stage where scrutiny was routine. He nodded her way, testing the waters, but her expression didn't soften. It sharpened, her eyes glinting with something raw, almost personal. The unease deepened as he drifted to the canned goods aisle, her presence trailing like a specter. Every glance confirmed it. She was there, too close, her hand hovering near her service belt. This wasn't idle curiosity. It was a hunt. Pausing by the bulk grains, Chuck selected a bag of oats, his movements deliberate, his mind racing beneath a calm exterior. The air felt charged, heavy with unspoken intent. As he turned to his cart, her voice cut through the din like a gunshot. "Excuse me, sir. I need to speak with you." He pivoted, meeting her stare with a weathered calm. "A problem, officer?" he asked, voice low but edged with steel, probing for her intent. She closed the distance, eyes raking him from head to toe, a predator sizing up its mark. Reports of unusual activity in the area. "What are you doing here?" The accusation landed like a jab, sharp and unexpected. Chuck's brow twitched, surprise flickering through his control. "Buying groceries," he said, nodding to his cart. "Same as everyone else." Her gaze flicked to the cart, then snapped back, unrelenting. "I need identification." For oats and bison, a faint smirk ghosted his lips, more instinct than amusement. "Respectfully, officer, I haven't done anything wrong." "Why the ID?" Her jaw clenched, defiance flashing as her hands settled on her belt, a silent escalation. "I'm not asking again. Show it." The crowd began to stir, murmurs rippling as eyes turned their way. Chuck felt the weight of their stares, the moment tightening like a coiled spring. He exhaled, voice steady but firm. "I don't know what you think I've done, but I'm not required to show ID for shopping. If there's an issue, let's talk it through." Her face hardened, lips thinning. "I saw you acting suspiciously." "Pacing the aisles," she snapped, voice rising, drawing more attention. "It over, or this escalates." Chuck's pulse stayed even, but his mind sharpened. He'd faced countless challenges, on screen, in dojos, in life. But this was no script. This was a supermarket aisle, and the rules were slippery. Her words were a gauntlet, a test he couldn't sidestep. "I'm cooperating," he said, raising a hand in restraint, his tone a low anchor. "But I'm asking for reason." Reason wasn't on offer. Her voice spiked, a whip cracked through the store's hum. "Hands where I can see them. Now!" Her hand gripped her pistol, the metal glinting under harsh light. Gasps erupted, shoppers freezing as the mundane shattered. Chuck's senses flared, every muscle poised, his training a quiet hum beneath his calm. This wasn't a set. It was real, with families and phones watching, waiting for a spark to ignite chaos. "Officer, there's no need," he said, hands rising slowly, palms open. "I've done nothing." "On the ground?" she barked, her pistol half drawn, eyes blazing with a defiance that felt like a vendetta. Kneeling meant bowing to a lie, but the crowd, kids clinging to parents, phones aimed like weapons, made the stakes brutal. He crouched, lowering to one knee, his gaze locked on hers. "Stay down," she shouted, the gun now fully drawn, aimed at his chest. Murmurs swelled, a mother pulling her child close, a father muttering, "What's she doing?" "He's done nothing." Chuck's voice cut through, steady but laced with iron. "I'm Chuck Norris, officer. I've lived my life by the law. This, whatever it is a misuse of power?" Her lips tightened, a flicker of doubt betraying her resolve before she doubled down. "But don't move. You don't decide what's right here." The crowd's murmurs grew bolder, fueled by her aggression. A man stepped forward, phone raised. "Lady, you're out of line. He's done nothing. Put the gun away." Her glare snapped to him. "Sit back. This isn't your business." But the crowd wasn't cowed. Voices rose, demanding answers. "What's he done?" a woman shouted. "Why the gun?" Chuck glanced at the crowd, gratitude flickering in his eyes, but his focus stayed on her. He knew this moment hung on a knife's edge. "We were making a mistake," he said, voice low, as if they were alone. "Reassess, please." But she wasn't hearing him, her control slipping as the situation spiraled. A bellow shattered the standoff. "What in tarnation's going on here?" Bob, the store manager, barreled in, his stout frame radiating authority. Trailing him was Cody, a young security guard, wide-eyed at the scene, Chuck on one knee, a pistol aimed, phones recording. Bob planted himself between them, voice booming. "Officer, what's the problem?" "This is Chuck Norris, a customer." Her grip tightened, but her confidence wavered under the crowd's growing outrage. "I had reports of suspicious activity," she said, defensive. Ode refused to comply. Chuck, still crouched, spoke calmly. "I was buying groceries, Bob. That's all." "I don't know why I'm being treated like this." Bob turned to her, diplomatic but firm. "Officer, this is a mix-up. Mr. Norris is a regular, no trouble. Let's de-escalate." Garrod murmured agreement, their phones unrelenting. Her face flushed, frustration and embarrassment warring as she lowered the pistol slightly, not holstering it. She said, voice tight. "Voice tight. Your job isn't to harass innocent people," a voice shouted. "Let him up!" Another yelled. Bob stepped closer, tone unwavering. "Officer, stand down. This isn't how we do things." Her eyes darted, crowd, cameras, the unraveling narrative. After an agonizing beat, she stepped back, lowering the weapon fully. "You're free to go," she said curtly, her voice brittle. Chuck rose, brushing off his jeans, his calm unshaken, but his words heavy with quiet rebuke. "Free to go?" I've been humiliated, treated like a criminal for shopping while tech. Her flush deepened, but she offered no reply, turning toward the exit, ignoring the crowd's jeers and the lenses tracking her retreat. Cody approached, apologetic. Sir, I'm so sorry. Anything we can do? Chuck raised a hand, offering a stoic smile. Not your fault, son. But this shouldn't happen to anyone. As Chuck left, the videos exploded online, a digital wildfire igniting outrage. By the time he reached home, his phone buzzed relentlessly. Friends, family, colleagues sending links to viral clips. Whoa. The footage of an officer aiming at him in a supermarket aisle spread like lightning, hashtags like #justice for Chuck and #unjust detention trending nationwide. News outlets pounced, local Dallas stations first, then national networks, captions decrying abuse of power and a legend targeted. Legend. Within 30 minutes, the officer was suspended, her badge under scrutiny, but the story was far from over. Chuck sat in his quiet living room, the weight of the night settling. He wasn't ready to speak publicly, not yet. This wasn't about him alone. It was about a system that let power run unchecked, about ordinary people caught in its gears. The next day, he met with Bob and Cody at the store, their gratitude palpable. You kept it from boiling over, Bob said. Chuck shook his head. The crowd did that. They wouldn't stay silent. The investigation deepened, revealing the officers' suspicious activity report was baseless. No evidence, no witnesses, just a hunch twisted into a confrontation. Community voices rose, demanding reform, accountability, and a harder look at authorities' reach. Chuck finally spoke, not for fame but for clarity. His statement simple: no one should fear doing the everyday because of a badge. Let's fix what's broken together. The supermarket resumed its hum, but the echo of that night lingered, a reminder that even legends can be tested, and that truth, when backed by a crowd's courage, can shift the tide. If your heart's still racing, smash that subscribe button and drop a like. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. What moment gripped you most? Tomorrow, we've got another electrifying story waiting, so don't miss it.